adult decor and I are making Neon Tokyo here. I stole all the builds. She does everything else. So that's all I do. I just steal the builds, place them. She does everything else. It's looking pretty snatch, I'd say. Nice juice bar. I'm not doing a whole tour on everything right now, but this is just basically what I'm going to show you guys today is how to steal the buildings, place them to wherever you want, because we don't have these builds. We don't have these walls. We don't have these windows. So I decided to take matters in my own hands, and I'm going to show you guys how you can move the buildings without them disintegrating, without them going back to their original resting place, which seems to be a thing. But I'm going to teach you all that. Let's go bug Jess real quick. Oh. Say hi.
Hello. Hello.
All right. And here we go. All right. So here we are. I am going to make this uncut. I am not going to... All right. So here we are. I am going to make this a whole process. I'm not going to cut anything. I'm going to speed some parts up to where it's not really needed or necessary to sit there and watch. But because I don't want you guys to miss anything. I don't want to forget to add anything in that may be important. So I'm just going to go ahead and walk through the whole process, talk you through the whole entire thing. We're going to move this entire tower piece. And then, yeah, that'd be it. I am going to make a separate video on the shark. That was probably the most challenging thing that I have done in this game so far. It took a very long time. I've broken multiple sharks, a lot actually, to make sure I get it down to the science of exactly how and what to do in order to move that. But anyways, we'll get started here. So what the basic purposes is here is you need to take something that's dynamic and attach it to something that's anchored. This is coupled. We're going to decouple it. Those are the terms that are used by LegoMoxy. Abideguy came up with the original method. Moxy evolved from it, and I've evolved even more from it. So there we are. All right, so what we're going to start with is your dynamic foundation. This is what's going to get coupled to what you are moving. So the pieces on this dynamic foundation have to be more than what's going to be in this build that is coupled in. I like taking these thin black floor pieces because you can get way more on. All right, I'm going to speed up through this process. So a good way to test to see if your dynamic piece has more pieces than your piece that you're coupling to, you can place a balloon on it. And then when you go to couple it, which you have to connect the two, and this balloon does not pop, that means you still need to add more pieces. So it looks like I don't have enough, so we got to keep adding. All right, there we go. We have enough now. So do you see how everything's kind of wiggling, moving around a little bit, so on and so forth? So now we're going to put balloons on it. Okay. All right then. Oh, looks like everything that was attached to the ground just decided to break. To avoid that from happening next time, you can just Oh, that's broken already. You can just break these. Because if it bumps into anything, it's going to break anyway. So we're just going to just get rid of this. Another good way to tell is the sign will actually kind of suck to the building there. Obviously not all the builds have this, but these Ninjago signs, that's another way to tell. It goes back to normal as soon as you couple it back in. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to place balloons on it. I am in a survival world. I didn't really want to mess with anything in my expert today. So just walking you guys through this. All right, now we're going to start placing balloons to get it off the ground and floating. There we go. She's evening out a little bit. These next steps are very important. Please follow them very carefully. Try not to skip through the video so you don't miss any steps. Because if this is not done in this order, then you could possibly have the building absolutely blowing up while you're trying to move it or get it to the spot where you want it and it revert back to its original positioning, and you don't want that. So just make sure you watch all the steps. Thank you. All right. So we're going to put a seat on it. Now for thrusters. We're going to drive this like it's a vehicle. Don't forget to change the channels on your thrusters. All right, very important, crucial part here. We are only going to move this 100 meters away from its original resting place. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go out to the lobby and come back in. You have to recouple, decouple, recouple this a couple of times in order for this to work. I know it's a pain in the butt, but that's just what has to be done. All right. I fly it over water to make sure it doesn't come down too heavy. And then we're going to have to end up breaking all these balloons and replacing them anyway. So what you're going to do is just lower it slowly to the ground, because when you recouple it after decoupling, it's going to want to fall. And you want to be as close to the ground as possible so it takes as least amount of damage as possible. So when we're breaking the balloons, to slowly lower it. Let's try to get closer down the ground. I think we can move out a little further. I was really high up in the air. All right, we're going to call that good. All right, now we're going to go out to the lobby and come back in. All right, so now it is coupled back into the ground, because when you log out, it automatically just decouples itself. So this is CMX. I don't really care if I lose my materials, but normally when I'm an expert, I go around and I break everything to put it back in my inventory so I don't lose it, because once we couple it back again, because you have to decouple it. Okay. That was dramatic. Why are you so dramatic? Once you decouple it and stuff is missing, like so, you just go back out to lobby and come back in. It didn't actually break off. And like I said, floor pieces did not break. But we do have to get this back on there because this is our coupling mechanism. I'm trying to level this out so it actually couples on there properly. All right, now we're going to couple it. And it will cause all of the material to break. If it was over solid ground, obviously it wouldn't sink into the water, but... Now we're going to put all the balloons back on it. All right, now I got my balloons and my thrusters back on it. I'm just going to head to a location not near here. I don't think I have a village picked out in this world. I'll just head over that way. All right, this looks like a good spot to leave this. All right, the last thing that you want to do is do a full game restart. I don't mean just go back to lobby. You have to restart and reset the entire game. All right, I'll see you when we get back. And we log back in, and there she is. The reason why you have to do a full game restart is because it locks the build in place permanently. If you want to move the build, you would have to decouple it, rinse and repeat, do the whole process all over again. But there she is. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take this piece off. You can go out to lobby, come back in to make sure that's set, but there she is. That is it. That's all you got to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're really enjoying this beautiful process and putting the builds in here. I do stream Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and TikTok. Please hit the like button on this video. It helps me out a lot. And if you're not using a creator code in the item shop, use creator code SpixieLee. I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you. Bye.